Hello everybody, it is me, Chris T, and today we have a draw with me video. So I'm just going to take you into my sketchbook and we're going to draw something that I want to eventually paint, but we'll do that. So I'm just going to be talking throughout this. It's going to be very chill. We're just going to kind of get some updates, get connected. So feel free to put me on mute and just draw with me, or if you want to listen along, I'm sure I will have an abundance of things to say. So let's get started. Okay, so I brought you guys a little bit closer because I think I'm going to primarily work on this page. I don't think I'm going to do a full spread. I've already drafted this idea out a few times. So I just want to get more of the outfit together and just a little bit more details before I move to the final piece. Also, I am drinking some jasmine green tea in this really nice mug, top of the morning mug from Jacksepticeye's coffee company. Yes, I watch Jack, if any of you do, so I have this really nice mug because I am a mug fanatic. The thing that we're drawing today, I should let you guys know, maybe thumbnail, I'll probably like thumbnail it right over here just so you guys can kind of see the idea. I'm drawing this piece. Actually, what I'm drawing is for a video. That video is just a little bit complicated because there's a few things that I'm gonna be painting for it. I'm doing a series of 3 paintings for the video that I want to do, and I've been trying to work on it for a long time, but I have not yet been able to. That's just because I've been busy. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can see that very well, but this is the thing that we're trying to detail out a little bit better here. It's a character running, holding a cat, with a deer running behind, a chicken running, and a bird running as well, a different kind of bird. And I don't know why that's the animals that are kind of following along on this journey, but that's what it is. Yeah, so this painting series that I'm going to do that I am planning on filming, I won't film me drawing any of the ideas out onto the final paper. What I'm going to do is show you guys just the painting process of it, because that's kind of the most important thing. I don't want to talk too much about it, but it's kind of exciting. I bought another art box, and if you guys want to guess whose it is, you can, but I'm pretty excited about this. I'm a little bit nervous about the medium because I haven't used it before, but I'm excited for this video. The only thing is it is complicated. It's been hard to kind of dedicate time to. And the reason for that is because I got a new job, which is really exciting. And I might talk about it a little bit more, but I want to talk more about this piece before I do that. What I wanted to do for these 3 pieces is it's going to be the same girl, the same character. I kind of drew her on another page and kind of detailed out some of the things that I kind of wanted for her character. So she's going to be the standard piece, or the standard focal point. But I have one where I want her running with these animals. I have another one where I want her to be holding flowers and kind of surrounded by some flowers. And I have a third one where I want her to be eating a bowl of ramen. And the reason I have the ramen idea is because if you guys remember from the last art box, the Heikala art box, I had the 2 characters eating ramen. So I thought it would be cool because I plan on buying another art box at some point in the summertime. So if I do that, I thought it would be really cool if I could kind of keep to the similar subject matter, the similar idea, but kind of let the art box and the person's art box style influence how I do it. So it's not going to be at all the same thing. None of these pictures are going to really have a background. They're mostly going to be tied by their color scheme. So I want them to be a similar color scheme because for this new job that I have, I want to put these paintings on the wall there. So I'm really going to try and play with the color scheme and make it very cohesive. And I think the painting medium for them is really going to lend well to a cohesive color scheme. I think it's going to look really nice. But again, I'm very scared for it because I haven't done this before. So yeah, so three separate paintings, all of the same girl character, but doing different things in each one. That's what we've got going on. So, like I mentioned, I haven't been here in a while. And I am very, very sorry because I did say that I didn't want to put this on the back burner this year. And honestly, kind of a lot happened. And I'm not really gonna go too much into it. I just don't think it's necessary to do that. So I really just have not had the time or the headspace to draw, which is unfortunate because at the start of the new year, I really wanted to fill up the sketchbook pretty soon. And I've done a good job. I have filled out quite a few pages, but I pretty much took like a month or so long hiatus. And that was just because of all the things going on in my life, which again, very exciting, but at the same time, unfortunate, you know? And to be honest, today I wanted to film that video of me doing the actual paintings, but I just know at this point, I don't have the ideas fleshed out enough. I haven't drawn in a while, so like my brain hasn't been... I had to search up this cat because I have not yet searched up a person holding a cat. And I have this idea because I've held cats before, and I know like sometimes when you hold them right underneath their front arms, their arms just like spew out, like really funny. So I kind of want to do that, but I kind of need a reference because I'm not too sure how the bottom legs are going to look. So we'll see what we can do with this reference that I found here. What was I saying? I have no idea what I was just talking about. I have a new job and my work schedule's different. My brain has been on that. Oh yeah, I haven't drawn in a long time. You see how if you kind of just like retrace your steps, you can kind of figure it out? Yeah, so I definitely haven't drawn in a very long time, but that's just kind of how things go. And I think that's kind of been something that happens with me quite often. So I guess I shouldn't be surprised at all because it happens, right? And honestly, I want to do those paintings, especially because I got this art box. I'm really glad that I got it when I did because I didn't know where my life would be. But it's going to be a fun thing to do because I can kind of really detail it out. I kind of want to film it in an interesting way, but I don't know if I will actually do that. So only time will tell for those things. But yeah, so I've had that idea and I kind of wanted to paint today, those ideas, but I haven't fleshed them out enough because I haven't been drawing nearly enough. And honestly, I was just kind of trying this morning to draw, but I was kind of just, nothing was really doing what I wanted it to do for me. So I knew at that point, I was like, okay, I'm not going to get this. I'm not going to get these 3 paintings drawn today. And I really don't want to keep ignoring this YouTube channel and not having any videos come out. So then I was like, why don't I just like flesh out this idea better, but film it? And that's kind of where I am now. However, I don't know if my lines are going to come out at all the way I want them to, just because I have not been in a big drawing mood, which is so unfortunate. And it's really annoying to me. Like I feel very annoyed that I'm not even in the best drawing mood because things are so much better when you really feel up to it, I guess. Right? That's just kind of how life is. So like for the last art box, what I wanted to do was incorporate the art style of the artist who owns the art box. So for the last one, I did something that was very background heavy, very storytelling, very colorful, because Heikala's art style was similar to that. So for this one, I want to incorporate the art style of the person again. And I really like her art style. It's really beautiful. The lines are her line work is just amazing. But also kind of wanted to incorporate the style of Jung Studio's art. And again, I'll probably put his name just because I think I'm saying it wrong. And the reason I wanted to incorporate his art style is because he's another one who's really great at those crisp, even lines. And his characters, they're so detailed, they're so fleshed out, but they're also simplistic. And it's hard to explain because when you really kind of break it down and look at it, he does have a lot of detail in it, but it's simplistic enough. The lines are straight enough that it just feels very simplistic, if that makes any sense. So for these pieces, I kind of wanted to do that where it's not necessarily super free-flowing, super flowy with nice curved lines. I wanted more structured lines because I think that kind of reminded me of both of these artist art style. And that's all fine and dandy, honestly, but I usually don't work so structuredly. And it's hard because my drawings are pretty stiff just because I'm not that great of an artist at this point in time anyways. But it's hard for me to draw these like very bold, straight lines. And that's kind of what I want. I want this piece to look, I want it to look like she's running, but I also want it to look very structured in that way. So for example, like these legs, I don't really like the way I do these legs here. It's close to kind of what I want, but maybe I need to make them a little bit bigger, a little bit longer, kind of distort reality a little bit for me. And maybe not even have too much of like this calf muscle into the smooth line. Maybe have like a straight line or something very straight. But that's hard because I don't know if it'll read across as like the style that I'm going for, or if it'll just look like I'm not really sure how to draw legs. So yeah, speaking of my New Year, since I haven't really been here since kind of my New Year's resolutions day, COVID restrictions, I don't know if I can say they're lifting necessarily or what, but there's been some nice days and I can kind of see where people have been more outside and trying to enjoy the fresh weather and not be so cooped up. And that kind of gets me excited, not necessarily that I've been out too much, but just because it feels like everyone's kind of in that same boat of we need some fresh air, we need some niceness, and kind of taking things one step at a time, but being very hopeful, being very positive. And that's something that I really, really appreciate by humans in general. I don't know if that's weird to say that, oh yeah, I have this very big interest in the way humans do things, but I do. I really think that humans are very resilient, and it just feels together. It feels nice. It feels nice. I really like the way her hair came out, honestly. It gives me that structured vibe that I was talking about, where it looks kind of stiff, but it follows this structure. So yeah, anyways, I hope that this year has been going decently for you. It seems like things in America kind of calmed down a little bit, which is great because things were kind of getting real stressful. I deleted my social media. I don't know if you guys have ever done that, where you've like gone off of social media, but I did it once a long time ago, and then I just did it recently, and I've been off. I mean, if any of you follow me on my art YouTube, I haven't posted anything there in a long time, which, you know, I'm fine with, just because I really want my Instagram page to be a reflection of me as an artist. And right now my art isn't where I want it to be. So I'm kind of fine with not updating there as much until I feel like my art style is cohesive enough for that kind of platform, if that makes sense. I fully deleted my Instagram account. I've been meaning to do that for a while. I don't really like the vibes there. It's not my kind of vibe, to be honest. It just isn't. And as much as I try to ignore or try to limit how many people I followed on there, it always felt like everyone that I was following, even if it was so few people, all brought in that vibe that I just wasn't into. So I'm not sad to delete that one, but I also temporarily deactivated my Facebook account. So really it's just been YouTube. And YouTube I love, well, YouTube and Twitch, I guess, because YouTube I love because it's social media, but you can really watch whatever you want to watch on there. If you don't want to watch something, you don't have to watch it. And that's just that, which is awesome. And yeah, I've been ignoring, I guess, a lot of the world recently, which has been fine. I think taking that step back really just, it made me realize how unnecessary some of it is, or how much I was really living my life trying to take pictures for the gram and not enjoying my time in certain places just as it is, you know, like holidays, because I deleted it probably before Thanksgiving. And, you know, a lot of those holidays, it's like trying to think of what can I wear? What can I do so I can get a good photo op? And to me now, it's like, why do I live that way? Why is that something that I'm so focused on? Because really, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what I'm doing on Thanksgiving. It doesn't matter how many people see my actions on Thanksgiving. It's fine if people aren't seeing all of that. It's totally fine. And it's actually nice to not have to care about that, to really just enjoy the holidays for what it is and not try to make it a event about, look at me, guys, look at what I'm doing. Look at how great my life is. And that kind of thing, you know? Which I'm not shunning people who do, because that's been me. I've been that person every year except this year. So it's not a bad thing, but I think taking that time off, for me specifically, because especially Instagram, that's kind of like my favorite of the social medias. And I get really, really into it. I used to post very often, which it was none of my friends really posted as often as I did. Like, to me, that was my jam. Instagram was definitely my jam, and I was very into it. So I think for me it was necessary too, because I spent a lot of hours on it. You know, when people say like, oh yeah, I scroll for a little bit, I could scroll for hours. I could wake up in the morning and just scroll. Just literally scroll and scroll and scroll. And at a certain point, you know, kind of having to think of like, this isn't healthy to spend all this time here. This isn't healthy to be so focused on other people's lives that you hardly even know. Just none of it is productive. None of it's productive. And I think after doing that, I was really able to kind of focus more on some changes that I wanted to make in my life. And one of them was getting a new job, and I was able to do it. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at. And I don't regret it. And that's the thing, you know, I thought I was going to be kind of like a drug addict, in the sense of I really was scared that I would deactivate it and then I'd be like, oh no, I have to bring it back after a day or so. But that's not what happened. I got rid of it, and then I was just kind of like, this is nice. I could deal with this for a little bit longer, you know? I'm happy that I did that. Unfortunately, one of the things that I wanted to focus on as well was drawing. And I have drawn a bit in my sketchbook, but that was before the new job, so I haven't done that in a little bit. And that was something that for me was like another thing to do, was now I should have more time to focus on drawing. You can't win them all, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. You can't win them all. I think too, I'm trying to fix my diet. New conversation. I'm trying to fix my diet because on the outside, I don't really look unhealthy. And I think people have said that to me a lot in my life when I say something like, oh yeah, I really want to start going to the gym. And people kind of look at me and they're like, you're so thin, you don't need to go to the gym. And I try and tell them like, no, I'm not trying to go to the gym to lose weight. I'm trying to go to the gym to get stronger, right? To make my heart more healthier, to be faster, to have more energy, because ultimately that's kind of what it does for you. And I think people really just kind of look at me like, you, gym? And I think that's a little bit discouraging. Not too much, but it just is, because you think about those things that people say to you and you feel like, yeah, I guess maybe I shouldn't tell people this, or maybe I shouldn't go to the gym. Maybe I should do things more privately, which is a stupid thought to have, but that's kind of what people make you think, right? And so along with the gym, I mean, I haven't been able to go too much, I think still with like COVID times, and I also refuse to go alone. Call me what you want, but that's too much for me. So I'm trying to go with my sister because she's been wanting to go to the gym, and she has like a membership that allows you to bring friendos with you for like whatever she pays a month, but it's free for me. And I think eventually I'll get my own gym access, maybe when things with the pandemic is a little bit better. But yeah, along with that, more than that, I guess I should say, I really want to fix my diet, because yeah, I guess one of the cool things about having a fast metabolism is you don't really think about what you eat because you don't see it on yourself, right? And I don't have any like current actual health complications. So then it kind of makes you feel like, oh, eating fast food every day of the week doesn't actually have any negative side effects, which I know isn't true because my energy has been trash. Now that the sun is starting to set later, I know that I can draw after work, because before it would be way too dark. So it was just like you get out of work at 4 and it's already midnight. But now the sun's kind of setting closer to 7. So that gives me some time. But I get home from work and I'm just like so tired. And I've talked to like a doctor about it before. And I don't know. Doctors are not my favorite people because I've had some crazy things told to me by doctors, and I might have mentioned that before to you guys. I don't remember, but yeah, I would like to, you know, eat healthier, because also I think that'll help me with my longevity of life, because no matter how healthy I seem with the blood work and whatever else from the doctor's office, I do know ultimately that if I'm not eating healthy, I could get heart disease eventually, right? And certain systems in my body could break down. And I'm such a big advocate for preventative health instead of reactive, like proactive instead of reactive, I guess. Because for a lot of health, especially like in America, I guess, the health system, well, it's a business, so we could all talk about that for however long we want to. But beyond that, it's reactive health. It's once something happens, what can we do? Instead of before something happens, what should we do, right? And I'm not a person who likes to take too much medicine in general. And again, this isn't a knock to people who take medicine, because honestly, whatever you have to do, you know, go ahead and do it. But for me, it's never been something that I like, because my mentality is, for a lot of medicine, like Tylenol, when you have a headache, it kind of masks the pain. It doesn't really get to the root problem. Like if I have a headache, right? Why do I have this headache? And instead of addressing why do I have this headache, I'm just like, let's cover up this headache with this. But then if I get a headache again the next day, I haven't actually solved the root issue, which might be because I haven't drank enough water, I haven't gotten enough sleep. So long as we keep ignoring those things, you're gonna still keep headaches, and then you're gonna take a bunch of Excedrins. And then what happens? A lot of those medicines, I mean, they tell you, even in the commercials where everyone seems so happy and dandy, you can get problems with some of your organs later down in life. And a lot of us don't think about it because, you know, that's a later problem. And one Excedrin isn't going to mess up my liver or kidneys. I don't know what Excedrin specifically messes up, but I think a lot of our mentality, and again, this is my mentality too for some of these things, is, well, I'm young now and I need this now, so yeah, it's not going to affect me in the future because I'm not going to take this in the future. It's just today. But all of those little todays add up, right? All of those times kind of add up. And so I really don't want to have organ problems later down in life, especially heart problems. But I don't want to have organ problems. And one of the things I recognize with that is my diet, because if my diet's not doing good, then I'll be in the hospital needing really to take some heavy medications. And then there's like, man, deers run interesting. And so if I don't have to take medicine right now and I can do something with my health, I want to do that, right? So that's kind of some things that I've been wanting to focus on, and I haven't been. I think one of the issue with my diet is I don't like cooking, but I really like eating out or like getting food from outdoor places. So as you can only imagine, that's very not conducive to healthier eating, because I think a lot of healthy eating is making home-cooked meals, right? Having home-cooked meals. And I've been talking about it with my mom, so we're gonna work on it together. But I'm also trying to do some like detoxing things. I don't know if any of you guys have ever done like detoxes, but some of those are really good. Like we just saw one that's like for your blood that you can do to kind of filter through your blood and kind of help it out. And there's a bunch. There's ones for like your intestines. There's one for like gallbladder stones. There's one for your skin. There's like a bunch of things that you can take if you look into it, of like ways to detox, like foods to do that. I know a very popular one is always like lemons with water and cucumber. I forget what that helps with, but like there's recipes that exist like that to really help people detox certain things in their bodies, which I haven't done too much in my life. I've done like a few. I don't do them too often just because some of them taste. If you've never had cucumber in your water, I recommend you try it, but it's not a flavor that I'm fond of. I can tell you that much. It's just not. I don't know what it is, but I just don't like it. So yeah. So yeah, guys, that's kind of me with health things. Yo, I really like how this is coming out. Am I still recording? Yeah, this is coming out pretty nice. So let's go ahead and try and draw our chicken. And I really like this. So like none of these pictures are going to have a background, or the background's going to be white is what I should say. I'm going to leave the background white, and I'm just going to kind of paint all of the items in the foreground. So the one with the flowers, I'm going to have like some flowers or some like grass sticking out from both sides of her, and some flowers around. She's going to be holding some flowers. And I want that to be very colorful, but I don't want any colors in the background. That being said, with these different ideas, it's interesting because I want the same color scheme for each photo. The subject matter in each piece is different except for the girl. But I think even like her outfit is going to be different in each piece. So that's something like that I'm trying to keep in mind with my colors. Like for the animals, I have to look at the animals and I have to think of colors that like everyone can go in. And for her, since I know her skin's going to be brown and her hair is going to be a darker brown, brown's going to be one of my color schemes, because like the deer can be brown, like a different shade of brown, but it'll still tie into the color scheme. So I want orange to be a color. I'm thinking maybe the cat could be orange. I don't know. I also want black to be a color scheme. I don't use black too often in drawings. I think I probably once saw an artist who talked about like, instead of using black, how about you use like a really dark purple? And I think I like took that to heart. I was like, yo, weird, like black is such a harsh color. Why don't we use different colors that can kind of be like black? And there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong at all. But black in and of itself is a great color to use in pieces. And the reason I think that is because it's so stark. It's such a starkly dark color. And so I would like to implement that in this, especially since like the background's going to be white. I really want there to be some very dark areas that's just doing its own thing. And then teal. Teal is another color that I want to use because I really like orange. And I mean, orange and blue, I've said before, is my favorite complementary colors. So I want that in there regardless. But I think teal is nice because it has that element of green. So for like the one where she's holding flowers and there's flowers around, obviously at that point, I'm going to have to use like actual green. So that teal is going to kind of tie in because it'll be a bluish green, but I can kind of lighten it and darken it so it could look a little bit more green or less green, right? So I do want that color, that teal color. And I don't know necessarily, like maybe something in her outfit would be teal. But since I'm thinking like that's the major color sources, I'm also trying to think of if I need like a pop of color somewhere, right? Because my only fear is with the browns and oranges, those are all very similar, and teal is a pop of color. Like, I know we'll have black in there. Teal is a pop of color. But something tells me that, like, I need another color to sprinkle in there that I use very limited in each palette. So no matter in what painting that I do, whether I make teal really the star of the show or orange the star of the show, however I do that, for all three pieces, I want a color that I don't use a lot. Equally in all three, like there's never going to be one that has like that as a main color source that I don't use a lot, but I can kind of sprinkle in some places to really tie all three together. And at least that's what my brain is telling me. My brain is like, you need a color that can do that, because I think that'll look like really dope if I had a color like that I can kind of add into each piece, and it kind of speaks for itself. So I don't know. I think what I'll have to do is think a little bit more about color theory and maybe do some color wheels to kind of think about it. What I'm planning on doing too, what I'm thinking about doing is probably taking a picture of like each piece that I sketch out and putting into Procreate, because again, I think I have like those at least 4 to 5 colors in my color scheme, but I don't know if I have the 6th one yet. But just to make sure that's the colors I want to go with, because maybe when I actually start coloring it in, I realize, oh, I really don't need teal. I need a strict green. Or, oh yeah, maybe the brown's too harsh. Maybe I need a tan. Like something like that, for example, that I need to kind of play around with. I love this picture. Like, where are y'all going? This picture makes me happy. I like it. So I am thinking that maybe that color... Okay, so the original color that I thought of was red. And I think red is kind of like the go-to color. At least for me it is anyways, because it is very bright. And even though it's similar enough to orange, there's something about like just strict, pure red that just kind of like, pew, right? And so if I did red, I feel like I could do it in such a way that, like, for example, this part of the chicken that's typically red will be red. So that's a little area right here, but that'll have some red. I could do something on her shirt, right? Like I could draw a strawberry. And then we have the teal of the leaves, but then the strawberry part itself would be red. But another color that I thought would be good, because I think it goes into, if we look at the color wheel and we use tertiary colors, right? No, not tertiary colors. Analogous colors. And what I mean by that is, like, I have the orange and I have the teal, right? So if we think of the color scheme where orange is and where teal is, what if we add yellow? Because yellow's in green and yellow is in orange. So that way it kind of ties in that those two colors together in such a way that like the whole piece can be interesting. Right? That kind of sounds good, no? Might be a little bit too close to the deer. I also don't know if I want the bird's wings to be up like this. I like this where it's like half up, half down. But most of the birds that do this, like with their wings, are like really big birds. And I don't want the bird to be like an eagle or a crane or something crazy. I kind of want a smaller bird. But that being said, I can probably do like a smaller bird with its wings down. But I don't see this too often, where like it's flying, but it's in the middle of like the upswing. So that might be interesting. Right now I don't like where it's compositionally is. I think just because like all these animals are here, maybe the bird should be like in the back. Yeah, I might actually like the bird in the back, but I did this thumbnail here to show you guys, so that's not too fitting. But what I could do, I could probably just move this, and then if I do add this to Procreate to take a picture of and edit some of the colors, that's an easy fix. I'm not gonna do her face because I really suck at faces in profile, so I know it's not gonna come out great. But that's kind of the idea. I know there's no color in this, so I hope you guys don't mind. But I think I've been talking for about an hour now. But yes, thank you guys for coming along on this journey with me. I think we talked about a bunch of random things, which is great, awesome, a fun time. I don't know what you guys are expecting. I don't know what I was expecting. I think I talked about things I didn't expect to talk about. But I'm surprised that I was able to talk and draw and get this idea out very well. I don't know, I'm just looking at it now and I really like how it came out. Of course, for every single piece of this, I did have a reference photo. Yeah, I hope you guys like this idea because you will be seeing it again because I am going to film myself painting this on an 8.5 by 11 piece of watercolor paper, but not watercolor paint. So that'll be interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I haven't talked to you guys in a while, so I don't want to say goodbye yet, but how are you? I hope that these first 3 months have done you well. Probably if I put this video out on Friday, we'll be in Easter weekend and we'll also be in April. So happy April, you guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful spring month. I hope you guys have a lot of rainy days. Even if you don't like rainy days, it's good for flowers. It's good for the environment in general, especially for some of you who are in drier areas where you might get a few fires or just deserty type things. I don't know what I'm saying. I'm rambling. Thank you guys so much for being here. I have noticed that we have gotten a few more subscribers on this channel and I'm very appreciative, really appreciative that you guys have been following me along even though I haven't been too active. I'm glad I was able to do this video for you guys today so that, you know, you can see that I'm still alive and that I still have plans, but things are just moving a little bit slowly and I do apologize for that. So please, as I say all the time, please have a great day, have a great week, and just in general, have a great life. I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.